Are you ready?
Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, and Scott Robbins.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Making sense of it all.
Now I get it.
And having some fun.
Lighten up, Francis.
This is the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show.
Let's do it. The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins, still out after his surgery. He's doing well. I know if he were here right now, exactly what he would say when he first saw me.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
Brutal, man. Brutal.
They made the Bears look good.
Well, they did something
that.
They did something that the Bears could never accomplish.
So, yeah, I always hate it when Robbins is gone or when you're gone, David.
Yeah.
But maybe today's not a terrible.
Yeah, right. As the Bears fan, he's just enjoying it.
Yes, very much so. I was thinking about this earlier. If we went back 2 weeks ago and someone could have told you, hey, Charlie Kirk's going to get assassinated, and here is what's going to unfold in a week and a half, could you have envisioned what we've seen?
Yeah, I didn't think there would be so many people openly or tacitly celebrating the death. I knew there would be people who would be like, well, I didn't like the guy, but didn't want to see him die. Which is fair. It's America. You're entitled to your opinion, no matter what. I mean,
yeah.
But the celebrating part has been a little jarring for me. But on the positive side of all of this, not that it's positive, obviously, that the guy is dead, but I would never have imagined the outpouring of support that came Charlie Kirk's way.
The size of the memorial, the number of people that were watching online, like over 100 million, which is wild.
Well, that's
and
presidential.
the gospel preached to all ends of the earth.
Yes.
It's astounding, and it was quite a witness yesterday with Erica Kirk, and it is, the part of the memorial that a whole lot of people are talking about. When she said,
my husband, Charlie, he wanted to save young men just like the one who took his life.
Which is true.
Yeah.
That young man. On the cross, our Savior said, Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do. That man, that young man, I forgive him.
and you're watching that. Of course, people there trying to stand up. It was incredibly powerful.
Yeah,
I forgive him because it was what Christ did and is what Charlie would do. The answer to hate is not hate. The answer we know from the gospel is love, and always love. Love for our enemies and love for those who persecute us.
Did you see how many people were mentioning on social media, oh my gosh, I can't believe she can forgive less than 2 weeks after her husband was murdered, and I haven't forgiven this person for slighting me in whatever way. I saw tons of those. Yeah, I think it was self-reflection time for a lot of us to say, wow, okay.
Yeah.
How can I do better in that department? Mm-hmm. Lots of room for improvement there. Yeah, it was powerful. And then, so after that, and if you know Trump's sense of humor, you could see it. There were some people that were offended, apparently, at what Trump said here. But again, I take it as that's Trump's sense of humor, man.
He did not hate his opponents. He wanted the best for them. That's where I disagreed with Charlie. I hate my opponent. And I don't want the best for them. I'm sorry. I am sorry, Erica. But now Erica can talk to me and the whole group, and maybe they can convince me that that's not right, but I can't stand my opponent. Charlie's angry. Look at that. He's angry at me now. He wasn't interested in demonizing anyone. He was interested in persuading everyone to the ideas and principles he believed were good, right, and true. Before each appearance, he prayed these words: God, use me for your will. Always said the same thing: use me for your will.
Yeah. So what did you think of the whole thing, David?
Well, I thought it was incredible. I mean, you could not, and for all the critics, nobody is, I mean, it's like, for all the people who are going after Charlie Kirk in the week and a half since he was assassinated in front of millions of people watching online and then thousands of people watching on the ground, you can hate him all you want, but you'll never have the impact that this guy had.
Nope.
In 31 years of life, the amount of attention to this memorial service was like a president, like a head of state had been assassinated.
Yes.
And you can hate him all you want. You can hate us all you want. But what I saw there was love. What I saw there was a new conviction in the wake of something so monstrous that happened to Charlie Kirk.
I think one of the things that's really been exposed over the last couple of weeks is the darkness in the country and in the world. People like, they openly went out on social media and showed people exactly who they are. I'm not saying every single person is evil, but there's a darkness.
Yeah.
I mean, hearts have been revealed to so many. And there's a clear distinction of direction in the country and where people want it to go. I think more than ever, at least in our lifetime right now.
Yeah, I think so.
And, you know, you think about so many of the critics, a lot of it has been based upon things Charlie said taken completely out of context.
Yeah, or outright fabrications.
Yes. One or the other. You know, I think there will be people that would say, I disagreed with how Charlie went about things, his tactics. Sometimes it was a personal attack on someone, whatever it might be. Okay, fair enough. But as far as just debating and then taking something, a little something he said out of context, you know, oh, the civil rights, he hated it. He said it was terrible. He didn't want black people to vote. What?
Yeah, that's not what he said.
Of course, not at all. And it's wild to me how some on the left are trying to say, hey, wait a second, we're the real victim here. It's astounding.
It really is, yeah.
And Ilhan Omar, I mean, leading that pack.
Oh, absolutely she is, yeah. So Democrat Representative Ilhan Omar has been whizzing on Charlie Kirk's grave for a week and a half, but again says she's the real victim in all of this. This is during an interview on CNN.
Okay.
Your colleague, another Democrat, Jamie Raskin, voted yes on this resolution. He basically said, even if he didn't agree with every phrase in it, that he viewed it as a moment for both parties to come together. Do you think he's wrong in that?
Well, the moment should exist, but what we have seen this week in regards to what my Republican colleagues have decided to do in their attacks targeting me and what the president has decided to do, these are people who are calling basically for our assassination of us.
No, they're not.
Nobody's calling for the assassination of Ilhan Omar. In fact, I mean, to me, I personally, as somebody who wants the Democrat Party to be exposed for the nincompoops they are, I want her in Congress. I want her speaking constantly because she helps draw that bright red line.
Well, dude, Caitlin Collins tried to give her an opportunity to walk something back, and instead she doubled down. And if you're unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, this was the exchange.
I just think it was the video where it called him Dr. Frankenstein and said his monster shot him through the neck. I mean, obviously this is a person, and looking at this is someone who was a husband and a father, and in the days after his shocking death, that happened as a result of his views, or happened as a result as he was sharing his views publicly with people, that people found it jarring to hear such criticism of that in the immediate aftermath of
what
death.
I find
because
jarring.
Ilhan Omar had forwarded that message about the whole Frankenstein bit. Okay. It's like, hey, do you want to walk that one back?
Mm-hmm.
What I find jarring is that there are so many people willing to excuse the most reprehensible things that he said, that they agree with that they're willing to have monuments for him, that they want to create a day to honor him and that they want to produce resolutions in the House of Congress honoring his life and legacy. It is one thing to care about his life because obviously so many people loved him, including his children and wife. But I am not going to sit here and be judged for not wanting to honor any legacy this man has left behind. That should be in the dustbin of history, and we should hopefully move on and forget the hate that he spewed every single day.
Unbelievable and unchallenged.
Yeah. Well, for me, my follow-up question is, what have you accomplished, Ilhan Omar? Because you're older than he was, and you saw the turnout. So are all of these people that were watching, are they all just reprehensible? Do they all believe reprehensible things? And her answer probably would be yes.
Yes, I think that is true. Later on, to be fair, they brought on Scott Jennings. You know, you heard this, you know, what do you think, sort of thing.
Well, she's lying. I mean, Charlie Kirk targeted nobody. He was not racist in any way. I've listened to hours and hours and hours and hours of Charlie Kirk debates and talks and have been with Charlie Kirk and did events with Charlie Kirk and knew Charlie Kirk. There wasn't a racist bone in his body. To say that he was continuously targeting people of color is nothing but a malicious smear on the very day that people are remembering Charlie and he's going to be laid to rest. And so I think we need to combine the no votes on the resolution, and then you look at the leading Democratic voices like Ilhan Omar and Jasmine Crockett, who've gone out to smear Charlie before he's even had his funeral. When I hear people say, well, you need to come together and both sides need to turn down the rhetoric, you know, a lot of the people saying that need to look inward right now. I was shocked at that. Well, I guess I shouldn't say I'm shocked by her, but I was a little stunned by what happened this morning.
Yeah, that was actually what Jasmine Crockett said, because it was Ilhan Omar and Jasmine Crockett. Yeah. Basically saying the same thing. Wow, man. But that, you know, in a way it's a gift because everyone can see, you know, very clearly. And we'll get more into that a little bit later. It is Monday. Every Monday is Mashup Monday. I don't know what you have picked today. I almost called you Scott. David?
Oh, man. Yeah, I've got one that I think you're really going to like because it has a good combination of music that you currently like and also maybe a reference to when you were boogieing on the dance floor in your younger days. It's Bill McClintock. He's a guy who does a lot of these mashups. The songs are Young MC's Bust a Move with Buffalo Springfield's For What It's Worth, and there is a special guest at the end, and it works.
All right. You're not saying that I was somehow dancing to Buffalo Springfield. That's
no,
a little before my
Young
time.
MC.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah. All right.
Something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there telling me I got to beware.
It's making me laugh.
Every time we stop, hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Every time we stop, hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
Jamie's crying.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, is that Van Halen in there?
It is.
Holy smokes. I don't know how Bill McClintock figures, you know what, I can put these two things together and somehow, some way, it's going to work, and then it does. It's kind of wild. All right, the 5 stories we're watching today and much more straight ahead right here.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torkas, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for their protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research. Not all supplements are created equal. I trust Active Liver because it's backed by science, meets strict quality standards, and delivers true daily liver support.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-859-3220. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 to 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-859-3220. That's 800-859-3220 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. 800-859-3220.
The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins is out resting at home. Now time for the 5 stories we're watching today.
Okay, counting them down 5 to 1. Number 5, NBC is reporting that an indictment of former FBI Director James Comey may be coming down this week or early next week related to Comey lying to Congress about leaking in 2020. The statute of limitations runs out in like 9 days.
Oh, that was the big open on ABC.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, that was the lead story.
That was
Trump
the lead story?
going after his political opponents. Yes. It was.
Wow.
Not joking.
Not the Charlie Kirk
Nope.
thing? I mean, like,
Nope.
what was probably the largest memorial service for a private citizen ever?
Correct.
Wow.
It was Trump going after political opponents. That wasn't the case with NBC and Today.
Okay.
The Charlie Kirk was the lead story. But, man, ABC is a different kind of fake news, I would say.
Yeah. Number 4, the Trump administration is tackling a possible link between autism and Tylenol use among pregnant women. And there is a supplement that they think may help. And so obviously, you know, you've got the people who are just instinctively saying, oh, this is all, you know, crockery and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, well, wait a minute, actually, there's like major universities and research institutions that have been talking about this for years. Like you're talking going back to like at least 2016. They were worried about a possible link. And then that this particular supplement, the name escapes me at the time, but has actually shown progress for nonverbal or limited verbal people with autism.
What's interesting is at least those 2 networks, ABC, NBC, at least my takeaway was experts say it's one of the safest you can take.
Really?
It just seems to lack curiosity of, is there something there to what they're saying? It's just kind of like, oh, this guy is a nut.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about RFK Jr.
Yeah. Number 3, President Trump is expected to approve a proposed deal this week that would ensure TikTok in the United States is majority owned by American investors and keep user data in a trusted cloud in the U.S. Number 2, President Trump also said his administration would be looking into the rash of trans ideology-connected violence. It was coming out just late last week, an emphasis on the person who tried to murder Brett Kavanaugh. I did not realize this. This did not get a lot of play initially, but yes, was trans-identified and spent a lot of time on Discord talking about trying to save women from this Supreme Court.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And so just another one. I mean, there's a common thread here, and we should start pulling at it.
Again, imagine this was the 80s, and it was all kids listening to a certain type of music or heavy metal or whatever. Oh, yeah, that's all you would hear about. With this, it's like, we don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. Number 1, a massive memorial for Charlie Kirk went off yesterday with his widow, Erica, saying she forgives her husband's killer.
It was really powerful. People are going to be talking about that for a while. The way that whole thing was handled, truly remarkable. This is the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Okay, and I would guess if you're picking a biggest story the day, it would be reaction to the memorial service yesterday.
So, I mean, and also, I just want to say this. I know it's not all about them, but the crew at Turning Point, being able to put that scale of an event on is impressive, and they should be very proud of the work that they did.
Hearing a lot of interviews with different members of the staff, it just blows you away.
I mean, that's the kind of thing that usually takes months to put together.
Oh, yeah. And you're talking about Super Bowl level security?
Yeah.
Something like that. Be able to pull that whole thing off? Yeah, it's incredibly impressive. Oh, how about the nut that shot up an ABC affiliate in Sacramento? We got to get to that story and around a What's Your Story coming up. Yeah. The Markley Van Camp and Robbins Show. I'm Jamie Markley, the Gen Xer. David Van Camp, the Millennial. The sexy boomer, Scott Robbins, resting at home. Trump brought up the trans thing, didn't he?
Well, he was asked about it, and I think that's a question that should be asked a little bit more because we've had several high-profile acts of violence connected to the trans ideology.
Yep.
You've got school shootings. You've had the assassination of Charlie Kirk, the would-be assassin of Brett Kavanaugh, Supreme Court Justice, apparently was also trans, and or is, I guess. I don't know. I don't know where he's at this moment. And you also had, I mentioned last week, Cop City. That's what they called it, a big training facility in Atlanta. Yes. A lot of the so-called forest defenders were Trantifa. And
and a lot of people have tried to tell them, conservatives want you dead.
Yes.
They want to eradicate you, which is not true.
No, it's not true. And, I mean, so you have mentally unstable people who have heard from the highest halls of power that there's an ongoing genocide campaign against them. Yeah, it's only a matter of time before they start picking up arms.
Yep.
And we're seeing that. So President Trump was asked about this.
Okay, roll it.
Charlie's killer lives with a guy who's transgender. The Annunciation shooter was transgender. The Covenant shooter was transgender. Should the FBI be investigating transgender extremism?
We're looking at that, and it seems like, is that just a, what's the reason for it? Yeah, there seems to be something, but we're looking at it very strongly. Something seems to be going on, but you can't make that statement yet.
Oh, people will. You can say we need to be looking at that. We should look at it.
Yeah.
People will take that and use it to say, see, they want you dead.
Yeah. But that's absolutely not true. I mean, I don't want anybody who's confused about their gender to be killed. I want them to get real help in the end. That's what
everybody wants.
And but, at the same time, if you do have, even if it's a minority of that population, if you do have people being radicalized to take up arms against their fellow Americans, we need to figure that out. And you can't be afraid. And luckily, I don't think that this current, Trump 2.0 is going to be shy about that at all. And if that means, hey, you have the new FBI threat tag, however you compile it, that's great. We should do that. I mean, the Biden administration was doing that for parents who got a little bit too loud at school board meetings.
Oh my gosh, man.
So, I mean, come on.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Jeffrey Mead?
No.
Young black man. He puts out a newsletter, and he's always looking at news and politics and making commentary. Really smart dude. I always want to know what he's got to say. And he put this out yesterday saying, Charlie Kirk was murdered and people celebrated. Think about how insane that is. A leading conservative was shot dead, and instead of mourning, segments of the left laughed, mocked, and rationalized it. It's not happening in a vacuum. It's the natural consequences of years of Democrats, activists, and media figures dehumanizing conservatives, branding us as fascist, Nazis, threats to democracy. That kind of language doesn't just win arguments, it creates a permission structure for violence. And you add on that, yeah, they want you dead because you're trans, which is a lie. That ramps it up even more. It's absolutely bonkers. You think about just to meet Jimmy Kimmel getting suspended indefinitely, not lost his job, but suspended, right? And I don't even know, that could be suspended with pay. I'm not sure. I'm guessing it is.
Yep, it might be. I have no idea.
If I had to guess. Anyway, that part doesn't matter. You got this loon that decides this is nonsense. I'm going to take my gun and shoot up the ABC affiliate in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Wow, man. That was crazy. The local news affiliate there doing a story on it went like this.
A 64-year-old man named Hannibal Hernandez Santana has been arrested.
Where'd you get Hannibal from, huh? Well, anyway, go ahead.
As the suspect in the shooting that led to an investigation here at ABC 10 in Sacramento along Broadway. And as the sun has risen this morning, you can see for yourself plywood over one of the windows in the lobby there. Now, earlier in the day on Friday, police were called here in response to shots fired from outside the ABC 10's building. No one was injured despite the building being occupied at the time. 3 bullet holes were seen in the window on the building's lobby. And that's when the investigation began. Later the same day, KCRA3 saw police in the River Park neighborhood, including SWAT teams. A witness at the scene reported seeing a man tackled and then taken into custody. Sacramento police thanked the FBI for providing resources in its investigation.
There you go. By the way, did you hear anything about this dude?
Oh, yeah.
The one being called Hannibal?
Yeah. He was an old teachers union guy, right?
Former legislative director for the California Federation of Teachers. And his social media is rife with anti-Trump commentary.
Yes.
In one post, the suspect allegedly wrote in July, "The authoritarian oligarchy is now complete. CBS Plus caving, big law firms in D.C., the subservience FBI and AG, university presidents stepping down, fanboy SCOTUS, public radio, ICE goons. We are going to have to, quote, fight like hell. Rules don't apply if election was stolen." All caps, fight.
Yeah.
How about all caps, nut?
Yeah. I liked one of the articles that I read said, well, it's unclear whether he was targeting ABC. Come on.
Are you serious?
Man. Yeah. I'm like, oh, come on. You're just trolling us now, aren't you? Because we all know what this was. It was some liberal nut who decided he needed to take matters into his own hands. And did you see local authorities released him?
Yes.
Now he's been rearrested, though.
Right. Wow. And then and that whole commentary about this is authoritarian, it was the FCC and all that pressure that was put on. It's interesting to me. The president of Nexstar, Andrew Alford, the broadcasting division. This was the statement about Kimmel, okay? Because it was Nexstar saying, we don't want to, carry this, saying the comments about the death of Mr. Kirk are offensive and insensitive at a critical time in our national political discourse. We don't believe they reflect the spectrum of opinions, views, or values of the local communities in which we are located. Yeah. So that's a lot throughout middle America.
Oh, yeah.
They're saying, hey, yeah, the people are not digging this. We're not going to carry this. Okay? They have every right to do that. And even as someone, I don't think we've ever been suspended. No. I mean, we're lucky because our bosses never tell us what to say.
Yeah.
They might say, hey, there were some people offended by this and, tell us what it is. But it's not like we're coerced into doing anything we wouldn't want to do, and I totally appreciate that. But we've also had jobs where you stepped over the line and you got yourself in some trouble, and that can happen. And that, I think, was what a lot of people were saying last week was this isn't some sort of crackdown on free speech. And in this, part of me thought it was because he just sort of outright tried to deceive his audience. Yeah. But what Nexstar's president said, no, it was offensive and insensitive. Just didn't want it on their air.
Yeah.
You can disagree with that, But to me, that's not some free speech issue.
No, not at all. Now, I do tend to agree with what Ted Cruz said on Friday, where it's like, even if one thing really didn't have anything to do with the other, FCC commissioners should probably not be talking about programming decisions like that.
Yeah.
So I totally get that.
Yeah. Yeah, especially an easy way or the hard way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like, oh, what does that mean exactly?
Yeah.
All right. It's that time of the show. We go around the table. It may not be the biggest story out there, but it caught your attention. David, today, what's your story?
We've talked about this for years, how there are a whole lot of people who are kind of tired of letters being added to LGB.
Oh, yeah.
It's like LGBTQIA2SQ. I think there's 2 Qs in it now, or whatever.
When they do the 2 Qs, do they still do the plus, or does that cover everything? Because it seemed like when they put plus on there, it was just crying uncle. Like, yeah, and whatever else.
Whatever you say you are.
Yeah, fine.
Well, and there's been a split because a whole lot of people are kind of tired of the radical pronoun brigade.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand it. You know, for a long time, the argument was just like, hey, look, gay people want to just get married. They just want to be able to, do the same things that straight people are able to do on the legal side of things. What's the big deal? They won, and they won a majority opinion in the United States, as far as the court of public opinion is concerned. And then over the course of a few years, here come in the Leroy Jenkins trans activists, and it's like, yeah, we identify. You need to embrace furry culture, and you need to be like giving pornographic materials to your third grader. And just insane stuff. And so there's a new group now. They're an activist group called LGB International. And they're gay people from all over the world who are saying that they are declaring independence from the trans activist stuff.
Interesting. All right.
We are declaring our independence because we're tired of people who aren't lesbian, gay, or bisexual speaking for us in our name.
The LGB is declaring independence because being a feminine man doesn't make you a female.
We're declaring LGB independence because we've had enough of pronouns.
Because wealthy legacy LGBTQ+ organizations have betrayed the same-sex attracted population.
Yeah.
And so they've got, multiple languages in the longer video that they put out. They're also saying, like, don't medicalize gay kids.
Yes, people have been saying that for years. Yeah. Yeah, older lesbians going, that they would have wanted me to transition to a boy. I'm not a boy. Not surprised, man. I mean, this is sort of a long time coming. Mm-hmm. Okay, for my story, friends in Iowa probably already know about this. The town of Jessup, Iowa, has announced that it has banned TPing. I mean, you got Halloween right around the corner.
Yeah.
They're defining that as using toilet paper to decorate homes, trees, or other structures.
What if you're doing it on your own? What if you're using that just as decoration?
No, I think you'd probably get a pass for that, I would guess. I think they could be loose with that. I don't know anyone that does that. I've never known anyone that's done that. But do you know someone that's actually saying, you know what, I really like the TP in the trees?
No, I don't know anybody who does that. But
those sentenced will be looking at fines and community service. Why is this? Well, they say, TPing is done by the bored kids as a prank, not hardened criminals. Well, why are we doing this? It says, this may sound extreme to some, but it happens year after year and to the same people.
Oh, yeah.
That is harassment. We got to draw the line. We can't watch every resident for every minute in town in the night. And if you've ever had to clean it up, it's a freaking hassle.
It is a hassle, especially if it rains a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
It all runs down the trees and whatnot. Yeah, our house got TP'd once because my brother broke some girl's heart when they were in middle school.
See, yeah. I think it was when my sister was in high school. Maybe she broke a heart. And the next thing you know, man, it was everywhere. Yeah, happens. Not in Jessup, Iowa anymore.
Nope.
I can't wait for Ilhan Omar to say, these people just want to TP? Some nonsense. All right, we got to get to a news update. And Nimrods in the news coming up.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torkis, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for their protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research. Not all supplements are created equal. I trust Active Liver because it's backed by science, meets strict quality standards, and delivers true daily liver support.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer grocery, or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
All right. The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins at home resting, but we still have his voice.
But on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So kick off the season right by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Just use the code MVCR on the Prize Picks app. With millions of users and billions of dollars awarded in winnings, Prize Picks is the best place to put your takes to the test. Plus, the app is really simple to use. You just pick 2 or more players across any sport, pick more or less on their projections, and if you're right, you could win big. With simple stats and user-friendly policies, Prize Picks is the most fan-friendly app to make your picks. All transactions on the app are fast, safe, and secure. Don't miss any of the action this season on Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code MVCR. $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. That's code MVCR on Prize Picks. $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 in lineups just for playing. Guaranteed. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
Okay, so for Portland Antifa, just another weekend, David?
Yeah, Antifa losers in Portland are still camping out in protest of ICE, and they once again attacked an independent photojournalist. We actually talked to her after she was attacked a few weeks ago, Chelly Bufarash.
Yeah.
She was standing pretty far away from this quote-unquote protest, just filming it, when some creep wearing what appeared to be a pirate hat to me walked up and shoved her. I guess he was trying to get her phone, and then sprayed her with bear mace.
Oh, my God.
And here's part of the assault captured by her and another reporter, Katie Daviscourt.
Okay.
911 specialist said he's got information about women.
Oh! Help! Assault! Get up!
Oh, my gosh, man.
It's just out of nowhere. This dude just comes strolling up and then just pushes her.
They get him yet?
I have not seen any information on that.
Oh, that is infuriating, man. All right. Feels like we already started, but now we're going to Nimrods. Screw
when
that
the
guy.
going gets tough.
Damn it, this is too hard.
The dumb get dumber.
All right, Dean.
It's Nimrods in the News on the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show.
I love the poorly educated.
All right. Nimrods in the News. We go to West Virginia. Just saw the story. This happened, well, last weekend. 2 students in West Virginia have been cited after they set a couch on fire using a flamethrower after the West Virginia football game against Pitt.
Yeah. That was a big overtime win, man. 31-24.
The
Exciting.
Morgantown Fire Marshal Captain said, "We want our community to enjoy these games, our great city, all it has to offer, but celebration should never cross into lawlessness, chaos, and destruction. Setting fires put lives at risk and needlessly ties up public safety officials."
Sounds like somebody hates
Flamethrower,
football.
though, I mean, that's up in the party. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. What's wrong with having fun?
And that's Nimrods in the news.
Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, and Scott Robbins.
We just become best friends. Yep.
Making sense of it all.
Now I get it.
And having some fun.
Lighten up, Francis.
This is the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show.
The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins, home resting.
I forgive him.
That was one of the, and probably the most powerful moment of the Charlie Kirk Memorial yesterday. Erica Kirk forgiving the person that murdered her husband. You know, one of the pieces of video that was making the rounds on social media over the weekend and certainly over the past week was this liberal woman making this statement. You've probably seen this before.
The best part of this whole goddamn thing is that he is not martyr material, so his death will mean nothing. It will activate no one. It will impact few. It's just great.
Okay.
Wrong answer.
Yeah, no kidding, man. I mean, there were people lining up yesterday in the overnight hours.
Oh, yeah.
They had to go
between
to
inside
overflow.
and outside. They're talking like 200,000 people.
Yeah, they had to. An old hockey arena they used for overflow crowd.
Yes, and over 100 million streams, individual streams.
Yeah,
and all these requests to start chapters of Turning Point USA across the country.
Yeah,
that person could not have been more wrong about the impact.
But that's the bubble they live in. I mean, I'll be honest. I knew there would be an impact because I know in his life he was impacting people.
Yes.
And I think you could see that from the 2024 election results. How many young men especially went and voted Republican out of the norm of what has usually been. Way out of the norm. I already knew he had an impact, but, I mean, watching how many people were tuning in, how many people were there, I mean, that surprised me of just how much of an impact he had. And, I mean, that's a testament, man, to what he did. I mean, like, you know, you see a lot of politicians, and it kind of happens on both sides, but Democrats have been busted doing this fairly frequently, where they bus in unions to fill in crowd space. So, like, the union will tell their members, hey, you can take the day off if you come to this political event.
Right.
Nobody was getting paid to be there.
No. Nope. The New York Times, not the New York Times, the New York Post had this piece that was basically saying maybe the media will understand how big this actually is now. Mm-hmm. Because I'm with you, man. At first, you didn't know it would have the impact. But then last week, you could kind of see where this was going, and you could feel it. Yeah. But even going into the weekend, I didn't know the memorial would be that big when you're talking like 200,000 people and over 100 million streams. Like, wow, man. It's a cultural moment, you know, unlike so many expected. And, oh my gosh, it brought Trump and Elon Musk back together.
No kidding.
Isn't that wild?
It is, after everything.
Yeah. People, what was it? Trump intimated, I forget what he put on Truth Social, but it was something to say. It was like Trump, you know, and Elon. It was for Charlie.
Yeah.
Like this brought him together. I don't know. Did you hear Elon being interviewed?
I saw something where he was on the floor of the arena. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I think it was when Amazing Grace was being played on bagpipes. Here's part of that.
Well, Charlie was someone who believed in dialogue, in open debate. He was a man of ideas. He spoke eloquently. He basically never even raised his voice. He was a man of peace. And now he's been murdered in cold blood.
Did you know him personally?
Yes, of course. We met many times.
How was he like?
I supported his organization. I supported Turning Point from quite early.
Why was he killed?
He was killed because his words made a difference. Because he was showing people the light. And he was killed by the dark.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I think for him, too. I mean, there are a lot of people who were in attendance, people like Elon Musk and Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Who, aside from them knowing Charlie Kirk, they also know what it's like to be targeted. What it's like to have a lot of people really wanting you dead.
Oh, yeah.
To the point where, in the case of Elon Musk, I mean, I know he's got security 24/7, but, you know, they were going after his car dealerships, going after Tesla dealerships.
Yeah, that was coordinated.
Absolutely it was.
A lot of money behind that.
Of course, President Trump himself last year was shot. So I think, you know, for them, there is also a personal thing. I mean, I look at it like this. Like, obviously, none of us are at the level of Charlie Kirk, and especially not at the level of Donald Trump. But watching some of the reaction and hearing some of the reaction where they're, like, glad about him dying or saying, well, he kind of had it coming.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's hard for me to not internalize that. I can't imagine what it would be like to be a guy like Elon Musk, who has been targeted by the radical left.
Yes. Yeah. You know what, man? I don't know what made me do this, but seeing that piece in the New York Post saying, you know, here is a whole lot of people that identified with the movement. And it reminded me of the day after the election in 2016. Because that day, preparing when we were going to come on the air, there were a lot of thoughts in my head, and I just jotted them down. For whatever reason, I kept it. And part of that at the time was, and you'll understand why I'm bringing this up in a second, people were tired of mainstream media telling them that wanting a border wall was racist, that believing in traditional marriage was homophobic. Tired of being told that if they didn't support Black Lives Matter, they were racist. Tired of the media telling them that the transgender bathroom issue was a huge deal when you were talking about 0.4% of the population. Tired of the media dancing around the issue of radical Islam. Tired of Obama being too politically correct to say radical Islamic terrorism. Tired of hearing it's unloving to want the country to enforce laws and get legal criminals out of the country. And there were so many people that felt that. And I think there were so many people that would see Charlie Kirk debate and defend the ideas in ways that they couldn't articulate.
Yeah.
And he, you know, you can call it a hero, call it whatever, someone that was greatly admired, that maybe didn't get it right every single time, but got it right a lot. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of respect, and you knew he was coming from a good place. And yeah, when you see him demonized and then killed for it, for defending those ideas that other people share, they relate to it. Mm-hmm. And they wonder, what do my progressive friends really think of me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you wonder those types of things. And then you have, you know, the people on the left that I think we knew the rhetoric was not going to get dialed down, but it has been even surprising to some on the left, the likes of Jasmine Crockett, who is out there, you know, on CNN. Did you already hear this bit?
I haven't heard this, no.
Okay. Just roll it, man. I won't even start it.
Well, on that note, I do want to turn to something that you heard the senator just say, which is he was talking about a resolution that came before the House this past week honoring Charlie Kirk. And there were 58 Democrats who voted against it. You were one.
Yeah,
why?
Absolutely. You know what? One of the things I do want to point out that's not been laid out that honestly hurts my heart is when I saw the no votes, there were only 2 Caucasians. For the most part, the only people that voted no were people of color, because the rhetoric that Charlie Kirk continuously put out there was rhetoric that specifically targeted people of color. And so it is unfortunate that even our colleagues could not see how harmful his rhetoric was specifically to us. And I can tell you.
You look like you're in disbelief, David.
It's
exhausting.
It's never going to stop with these.
It won't.
With this type of
They're the real victims here.
Yeah, they're the real victims. Oh, my gosh.
And hurt by her Democratic friends that happen to be white that didn't vote against this. Because she's saying they're racist.
Yes.
Jeez, man.
I can tell you that a month prior to him passing away, he had actually gotten out on his podcast. I wasn't aware of this at the time, but he got out there and he was talking negatively about me directly. So if there was any way that I was going to honor somebody who decided that they were just going to negatively talk about me and proclaim that I was somehow involved in the great white replacement, yeah, I'm not honoring.
That is total BS. I'm sure that he said something about you.
Yeah.
You're a political opponent. That's the arena. And you know this. Golly.
Yeah, I'm not honoring that kind of stuff, especially as a civil rights attorney, and understanding how I got to Congress, knowing that there were people that died, people that were willing to die, that worked to make sure that voices like mine could exist in this place. So to me, just like we wanted to make sure that those Confederate relics were taken down, the idea of a new age relic being propped up was something that I just could not subscribe to. And it is unfortunate that more of my colleagues, even on my side of the aisle, could not see the amount of harm
it's
that
unbelievable.
this man was attempting to inflict upon our communities.
Charlie Kirk was not racist.
No. He was trying to inflict harm by encouraging black families to stay together and not go to the abortion clinic so often.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's harmful?
Yes.
Kind of sounds like he wanted more black babies being born.
He did. He did. It makes no sense. But the thing is, it's not challenged. That's why they had to bring Scott Jennings on to, clear it for Charlie Kirk. Because one of those people can't push back against what she's saying. And that's just the media. And I'm glad to see that part of the media is having less and less influence all the time. On a lighter note, earlier, when we were talking about Nimrods in the news, it was a couple of college students that took a flamethrower to a couch after West Virginia had beat Pitt. And you're telling me, David, that there's some history here.
Yeah, there's
a tradition.
It's a tradition, yeah. So they win the rivalry game in overtime, exciting matchup between West Virginia and Pitt. And so people were lighting couches on fire. And evidently that was a big thing. It was outlawed, but, people still want to go out and do it. And I just saw this. It's from WBOY 12 News, News. The headline is WVU, West Virginia University, couch fires and why West Virginia has so many fire departments.
So that's the reason?
Yes.
In Philly, they got to grease the poles.
Yeah.
West Virginia, you need flame retardant couches?
Yes.
Maybe? I don't know, man. The things you learn. It's pretty wild. We do have a news update to get to. And the 5 stories we're watching today, straight ahead.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Football season is back on Prize Picks. Every day we make choices, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So kick off the season right by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Just use the code MVCR on the Prize Picks app. With millions of users and billions of dollars awarded in winnings, Prize Picks is the best place to put your takes to the test. Plus, the app is really simple to use. You just pick 2 or more players across any sport, pick more or less on their projections, and if you're right, you could win big. With simple stats and user-friendly policies, Prize Picks is the most fan-friendly app to make your picks. All transactions on the app are fast, safe, and secure. Don't miss any of the action this season on Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code MVCR, $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. That's code MVCR on Prize Picks, $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 in lineups just for playing, guaranteed. Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins out resting. Hopefully be back soon. Now it's time for the 5 stories we're watching today.
1, 2. All right, number 5, the Trump administration is tackling a possible link between autism and Tylenol use among pregnant women. We will see what comes out of that. I know there's some freak out happening right now, but
that's definitely going to happen.
Oh yeah, but I don't know what the recommendation is going to wind up being, but there are researchers who have said there may be a link. It's not ironclad, but this has been talked about for about a decade at least. So
RFK Jr. had said, yeah, we'll, be talking about that in September.
Yeah.
It is September,
sure.
So here we are.
Number 4, Ryan Ralph, who is representing himself as he faces charges of trying to assassinate Donald Trump last year, rested his defense at his trial. He's representing himself. Closing arguments are scheduled for tomorrow morning. Sort of short and sweet. Was it you with the rifle? Yes. All right. And you're going to jail. Number 3, President Trump is expected to approve a proposed deal this week that would ensure TikTok in the United States is majority owned by American investors. And number 2, a massive memorial for Charlie Kirk went off yesterday with his widow out there, Erica, saying she forgives her husband's killer. It doesn't mean you escape accountability, but carrying around hate in your heart, even if it would be justifiable, only hurts you in the end.
It's true.
And then number 1, in Ashland County, Ohio, the local Democrat Party was kicked out of the county fair because they were handing out buttons about Trump at a booth. Buttons read, "Is he dead yet? And one day we will wake up to his obituary." Read the room.
Man. That's something. And about the Ralph character, I wonder if it'll ever come out. What was the deal? Everything with trips to Ukraine and all the money, because he didn't seem to have a lot of money. How did he go across all parts of the world?
Yeah.
And then to Hawaii and back, and it's a very odd existence.
Yes.
And it is also odd. I was talking with some friends yesterday, as far as the shooter in Butler. We still don't know anything about that dude.
No.
It's just kind of crazy. Talking about how much you know now about Charlie Kirk shooter. A whole lot more than the kid in Butler.
Yeah. That is such a bizarre thing.
That's a head scratcher. Are you familiar with the Ig Nobel Prize?
Why do I?
Ig Nobel Prize?
Yes.
It's sort of for the weirdest and dumbest insights science offered per year. As an example, the Nutrition Prize was awarded to researchers who determined rainbow lizards prefer 4 cheese to other varieties of pizza. So we needed to know it.
Well, you can't go wrong with the 4 cheese,
Pediatrics Prize went to a team who looked into what a nursing infant experiences when their mother eats garlic. Biology prize went to a study that determined cows painted with zebra-like stripes were 50% less likely to be bitten by flies. That's kind of interesting, actually.
That is actually really interesting.
The Ig Nobel Peace Prize was given to a study that found that drinking alcohol sometimes improves a person's ability to speak in a foreign language.
It ups the confidence, that's for sure.
You can speak drunk. Was that ossifer? Exactly. This is the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Yikes. Oh, the Engineering Design Prize. Team who researched how foul-smelling shoes affect the good experience of using a shoe rack.
Is there really like good feelings associated with using a shoe rack?
I guess.
I've never used one in my life, but I can't imagine finding a place to put your shoes would bring you such joy.
I guess maybe the organization. The Psychology Prize went to a team who analyzed how receiving high IQ scores relates to temporary state narcissism.
Really? And it's
You're saying you needed a study for that?
It's permanent when you get a PhD. It's doctor.
Do you heal people? Well, then you're not a doctor. Gee. All right, news update around at What's Your Store. You do not want to miss straight ahead. The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins out resting. Said he might need a whole other week, which is fine. He should take as much time as he needs recovering from surgery. But I know he wants to get back here as soon as possible. He's got a lot of hot takes that he needs to get out of the system, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. So you had a clip of Ilhan Omar. Prepare yourself. Here we go.
Well, Democrat Representative Ilhan Omar is continuing to smear Charlie Kirk on CNN.
Okay, roll it.
He also just didn't even believe I could be smart enough. I could have thoughts that could be equal to a white man.
No, that's way out of context. You're a freaking liar.
This conversation about
so
who this
tired
man
of that.
was and the things that he said. How do you not find that reprehensible, Caitlin?
Well, of course I don't.
Do you think
I don't
have
subscribe to that? But
do you think I don't have the brain processing power like you or a white man?
Well, of course not. And I
know,
think it's very clear here that
but
I'm
if
not
somebody
sharing
said
his
that,
views,
would
and I
you
don't
say that
justify
that would
them.
be reprehensible views?
I think the argument that was being made.
No, but I'm asking
what
you.
we have.
You know, this actually highlights something that we've talked about. Charlie Kirk actually pointed this out, too, the difference between leftists and liberals. Is that liberals will have an argument with you. They'll have a conversation with you. But leftists will shut you down before you even get a chance to finish a sentence. And unfortunately, I think that tactic, that basic argument tactic, has infiltrated a lot of liberals and the way they speak and handle themselves. But you could hear it there every time Caitlin Collins, and I thought she did a terrible job because if you're a news reporter, you would probably know by now or should know by now. No, Charlie Kirk did not say that all black women lack the mental capacity to do different jobs. That's not what he said at all. And she would be able to say, well, that's not really the point he made, but I want to get back to what I was asking you. But instead, she just gets steamrolled by somebody like Ilhan Omar, who's just going to say, oh, so you're saying I'm dumb? Or is that what you're saying? You're saying you're fine with that?
And it's your show.
Yeah.
And you're letting her control the show.
Yes.
It does. It drives me absolutely bananas. Because of what was actually said in the whole context. And I don't want to misquote it. But the reality was Charlie Kirk was calling out 4 specific women who continually promoted anti-white and anti-Asian affirmative action policies. That was Michelle Obama, Sheila Jackson Lee, Ketanji Brown Jackson, Joy Reid. Mm-hmm. And they were talking about affirmative action, that they needed it. And the quote, they're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. We know you do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken seriously. Okay, now could you say that was rude? Sure. Mm-hmm. But that wasn't the point he was making was pretty obvious.
Yeah.
You're putting doubt in people's minds that you're actually smart enough to do the job when you're saying I needed affirmative action to get the job.
Yeah.
But then they take it and run with it, and then Caitlin Collins does not correct that. Mm-hmm. No, it's really disappointing. I've played clips before from Kaizen Asudu, black man, and part of what he does is educates people on how propaganda is used and how to spot it and, names it for what it is. And I just happen to see one. I just want to play it now because this whole conversation reminded me of it. He's brilliant at this. And I think he was using the clip of AOC to use this as an illustration.
We should be clear about who Charlie Kirk was. A man who believed that the Civil Rights Act that granted Black Americans the right to vote was a mistake. His rhetoric and beliefs were ignorant, uneducated, and sought to disenfranchise millions.
If you're gonna call someone else's rhetoric ignorant, shouldn't you make sure your rhetoric isn't ignorant? The Civil Rights Act didn't give Black Americans the right to vote. The 15th Amendment did that a century earlier. Then, the Voting Rights Act in 1965 removed the barriers that states were still using to block Black people. But here's the deeper problem. AOC is attacking a straw man. Straw manning is when you twist someone's argument into a weaker version, then attack that instead of what they actually said. It's a logical fallacy. And it's what caused people to think Charlie Kirk is a racist. Here was his actual point.
You said the Civil Rights Act was a mistake. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so the parts of the Civil Rights Act were great, but the way it's now being implemented to force men in female bathrooms to push forward of the trans agenda, the intent of the Civil Rights Act is way beyond what it was originally authored for.
But the intent specifically originally was to...
Well, that's interesting. So the intent and the law are two different things. So the intent was noble, which was to say that no American can be not allowed into a place of business based on the color of their skin or their ethnic heritage. Totally agreement with that. That's not what the law only did. It created a massive anti-racist DEI army that then gave us affirmative action.
And I love what Kaizen does here. And it would have been, I wish he would have been around when I was in my early 20s to spot through BS. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, here he is.
I could do this all day because Charlie made this argument many times. Charlie supported the Civil Rights Act's intention to protect Black Americans from discrimination. His argument was that the law left loopholes, which are now being twisted to justify men and women's sports or racial discrimination in college admissions. AOC didn't just push this straw man once. She repeated it in emails. She pushed it on social media. And she was online when she sent those. 30 seconds with AI could have told her the context. All she had to do was ask, I heard Charlie said X. What's the context? Or, what are the strongest arguments for and against this claim? That's how you steel man an argument. That's how you avoid straw manning. You can disagree with Charlie without misrepresenting the past. Lies got him killed. And if this doesn't stop, he won't be the last.
And I'm afraid he's right about that. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Someone is claiming a Spanish radio host is self-censoring because of Trump?
Yes. This is Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro. He was on Meet the Press and told a totally true story that's not in any way fake. While talking about ABC taking Jimmy Kimmel off of the air, the setup is that he was doing an interview with a Spanish-language radio show host, and then he'll go on from there.
All right, roll it.
He said something really chilling to me.
Chilling.
That he now has to think about what topics he's going to discuss because he's fearful he might offend federal regulators or offend the president. Now, this wasn't that type of a program where we were engaged in a lot of that conversation, but the fact that you have journalists now who will think, do I really want to probe some elected leader on that particular topic because it could offend federal regulators? Do I want to tell that joke because it might put someone off?
I got to tell you, man, just to interrupt for a second. Yeah. This is rich because Robbins isn't here to tell the details. And I can't remember, was it his personal page or our show page? Or we got warned talking about the vax, that it could have side effects like myocarditis, or when we were talking about all indications, it did not come from a wet market.
Yeah.
Came from the Wuhan lab.
We got a couple of our podcast episodes flagged for that, and also I think his personal page. He shared a meme, I think it was.
Okay, yeah, all right.
That he shared.
That's our podcast,
He got put in Facebook jail.
Yeah. And this guy's talking about it's chilling. He's got to think about what he's... Oh, please.
Do I want to adjust my views to be more on the right-wing side of the political conversation to curry favor with these federal regulators? That, in many ways, is even more dangerous than silencing one person. No disrespect, of course, to Jimmy Kimmel and his powerful voice.
His powerful voice.
Yeah.
Shapiro should be more concerned about other things, like someone else yelling "Free Palestine" before they shoot up a room, like what happened in New Hampshire at the wedding reception, which, by the way, I saw the coverage on NBC today. You know what they failed to mention? That the shooter yelled "Free Palestine" before he started shooting. Like, no motive, no context, nothing. Nothing.
Well, I saw the local news report where they said, I think that was the update this morning, was like he was yelling a whole bunch of stuff, so the cops really don't know what the motive was. Like, was he just doing that as a distraction? Who knows? But that is part of the story, that he was
100%.
yelling "Free Palestine."
Dude, they're an absolute joke. All right. It's that time. Go around the table. I already gave my story. It was Kaiser. David, what's your story?
All right, let's see. New Jersey gubernatorial candidate. She's a Democrat, Mikey Sherrill. It was revealed during a debate that she has taken, or she's made like $7 million on stock trades while in Congress.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very interesting. Well, she shows up on The Breakfast Club with Charlemagne the Fraud, and he wants to ask about this. And she gives one of the most hilariously bad answers to this kind of question that I've ever heard.
Oh, I can't wait.
So when Newsmax claimed that you made $7 million from stock trades, what are they talking about?
Newsmax is, first of all, a very questionable organization that is paying multiple fines. I'm not sure what they're talking about.
Well, did you make $7 million in stock trades at all? Or?
I haven't. I don't believe I did, but I'd have to go see what that was alluding to again, what kind of came from.
Dude, that's a pretty simple question to answer, right?
I haven't. I don't.
I don't think I did.
If you say,
I think it was 6.9 million.
Yeah, right. I mean, if you were to say, like, well, not specifics, but it is in the millions, or, I mean, you would remember if you made $7 million on the stock market, right?
Unless you're a billionaire. Like, yeah, whatever. Chump change.
Or,
only $7 million to me.
Or if you didn't make that much money on the stock market, then you would certainly say, no, I wish.
That's obviously your first reaction. No, where did anybody get that? I wish I did. Please, someone give me the money. I don't think so.
Like somebody accused me of being just a right-wing multimillionaire, and I just laughed. Like, what?
Nope.
I wish.
Not even close. All right, got a great update. And Nimrods in the news coming up.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Quiet down. Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
The Markley Van Camp and Robbins Show. You know, you don't need to let all your photos sit on your phone. You can put them to good use with Aura Frames. It's Wirecutter's #1 digital frame for good reason. It's easy to set up. They have different frame options. The best part, it comes with unlimited storage. All you need is the free Aura app and a Wi-Fi connection, and you can upload as many photos and videos as you want year-round. And with siblings, they'll like to include embarrassing photos of their siblings.
Well, yeah, I mean, you could do that. On occasion, somebody may have done that, and it's really cool. You know, you just with the click.
Well,
of a
I'm
button.
watching it play out in real time, Dave.
Oh, are you really?
Yes.
Little potty training videos popping up on the old Aura frame.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Good
but
stuff.
Unlimited storage, just with the click of a button. Boom, that photo is on that frame. As long as you got a Wi-Fi connection and a phone, I mean, you just. And the app, of course, on your iPhone or other smartphone, you can enjoy the benefits of this and maybe play some lighthearted pranks against your siblings or family members.
Good fun.
Yeah, and you can save on the perfect gift that keeps on giving by visiting auraframes.com. For a limited time, listeners can get $20 off their best-selling Carver matte frame with code MVCR. That's auraframes.com, promo code MVCR. Support the station by mentioning Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. That's us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, you got a news update?
Yeah, well, you had asked me during the break about the Tom Homan story.
Yeah.
Where he allegedly accepted a bag of $50,000, just a bag of $50,000 during an undercover FBI sting.
Yeah, why what?
Because they were saying he was promising government contracts to different people related to immigration. And he allegedly accepted a $50,000 bribe, although he's not part of the contract awarding process. So I'm not really sure. This kind of reeks of fake news to me. Like
That's what it seems like to me.
They're trying to get a scalp again.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But and Trump is backing him. I heard that in the news report earlier. Also, it was big earlier today that Canada, the UK, and Australia are recognizing Palestine. Which, in the end, you know what it means?
Huh.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It is basically put to those three countries are looking at their far left bases, saying, "Okay, this is a little nod to you." Yeah. But it's also good for the Hamas propaganda.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely, it is. Well, I mean, in the UK, they're kind of terrified of some new British inhabitants.
Oh,
so they kind of want to. Well, did you see what happened in Italy, man? Because Giorgia Meloni, the prime minister there, she said, no, we're not recognizing Palestine as a state. And there was rioting today.
Yeah, it looks like a war zone. at least going on right now. So, yeah, be keeping an eye on that. And now it's time for Nimrods in the News. Roll it.
When the going gets tough.
Damn it, this is too hard.
The dumb get dumber.
All right, Ian.
It's Nimrods in the News on the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show.
I love the poorly educated.
All right. Nimrods in the News. We go to Pennsylvania. 75-year-old bus driver named Harvey Selker facing charges. Why? Police say he threatened the children he was driving and punished them by cranking the heat. Parents say their kids got off the bus crying and extremely sweaty. Harvey demanded that the kids close all the windows, and then he turned the heater on full blast. Well, apparently, it was 74 degrees outside, so it wasn't like it was a 90-degree day, but still 74. They said inside it was like 95 to 100.
Dang.
We don't have the audio, but he allegedly told the kids, "I'm going to cook all of you," which makes me terrified of a Hansel and Gretel story that I was told when I was a kid that always freaked me out. Anyway, also threatened to bring a paddle the next day. Investigators say the students were between the ages of 5 and 10. Charged with reckless endangerment. He's not going to be driving again. Extremely sweaty.
Yeah, I
the
bet.
Kids. Wow, and that's Nimrods in the News.
Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, and Scott Robbins.
We just become best friends. Yep.
Making sense of it all.
Now I get it.
And having some fun.
Lighten up, Francis.
This is the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show.
The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins out resting at home. And we were talking earlier about Erica Kirk forgiving Charlie Kirk's murder. And it was very moving. And it inspired a lot of people thinking about, who have I not forgiven? And it was a moment of reflection. And here we are into the show. I'm so freaking irritated at people on the left and different journalists, news reporters, the way a lot of this has been handled. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you're feeling the same. I suspect a little bit just from your commentary.
Yeah.
But so much of it's done in bad faith.
Yes.
And it does get exhausting after a while. And you expect it. The temperature's not going to come down. This is just going to keep going. Mm-hmm. Okay? And you just got to, as they say, fight the good fight. Someone was asking about Trump's comments. And I suppose we should go full context here.
Yeah.
Trump. Talk about Erica Kirk as she forgave person that killed her husband. In the end, then said,
I forgive him because it was what Christ did and is what Charlie would do. The answer to hate is not hate. The answer we know from the gospel is love, and always love. Love for our enemies and love for those who persecute us.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's love. There's truth. There's justice. Yes. I get all that. So, as then Trump was speaking after Erica, and again, to me, it was easy to see, if you know Trump at all, have watched him at all, that this is part of his sense of humor when he says something like this.
He did not hate his opponents. He wanted the best for them. That's where I disagreed with Charlie. I hate my opponent. And I don't want the best for them. I'm sorry. I am sorry, Erica. But now Erica can talk to me and the whole group, and maybe they can convince me that that's not right, but I can't stand my opponent. Charlie's angry. Looking down, he's angry at me now.
Yeah.
He wasn't interested in demonizing anyone. He was interested in persuading everyone to the ideas and principles he believed were good, right, and true.
Yes.
Yeah, so obviously, pretty flawlessly executed funeral joke.
Yeah.
which that's not an uncommon thing.
Not at all.
And, because he's making the joke, oh, I hate him. But maybe Erica can convince me to back off of that a little bit. It was funny. I've seen some people saying, how do you know he was joking? Well, probably because of the laughter that occurred. I don't know.
Yes. And not just from the crowd. I mean, from himself.
Yes. Every time he gets in front of a microphone, there is part of it that's stand-up comedy.
Yes.
That's what he does, and that shouldn't be breaking news. Well, to a reporter with PBS, she wanted to know. She asked the White House press secretary, Carolyn Leavitt, is this really toning down the temperature?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I just wanted to follow up quickly on something that the president had said yesterday. So we heard from Erica Kirk. She said she forgives the man who shot and killed her husband. And then right after that, we heard from the president who said, I hate my opponent and I don't want the best for them. How does that square with bringing down the temperature of political violence in this country? And then, if I could, I had a follow-up on Venezuela, too.
Look, the president is authentically himself. I think that's why millions of Americans across the country love him and support him, including Erica Kirk, who you saw so beautifully was on stage with the president in an unthinkable moment, in the midst of an unthinkable tragedy, and was leaning on the president for support during that time. And he was there to give it to her, as well as the vice president and many other top-ranking cabinet officials.
Yeah. I mean, that's just Trump being Trump, man.
That's a lot more restrained than how I would react, which is one of the reasons I could never have that job.
No.
Just be like, are you serious right now?
Yeah.
Like, really? Something that was obviously a joke. He was trying to bring a lighthearted moment here in such a tragic situation. And you're like, but is this really bringing down the temperature? Yeah. Is that?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah,
I know, man. It's insufferable. Well, our old buddy, Mr. Miffed himself.
Miffed around here about how information's been shared with the press.
Yeah, Ed O'Keefe, star journalist with CBS. You've heard the freak out about Tylenol autism, because they're, going to have this press conference later today about it. It was all over Good Morning America Today show. And, before we really hear a whole lot saying it's one of the safest out there. So here's the question from Ed to Caroline Leavitt. And I really like the way that she handled this. Roll it.
On the autism issue again, there are reams of scientific research that suggests there's no clear link between autism and acetaminophen usage. You're suggesting today they may have no information on this. A lot of it, and this entire debate, has the potential to confuse women, especially pregnant women, about what to do. What do you say to those that say what you're doing today potentially just introduces more confusion into the debate?
I think women for many years, in fact for decades, Ed, have been confused by the rapid increase in autism in this country, in the childhood epidemic, that is chronic epidemic, disease epidemic that is plaguing America's youth. Women are confused about that and they want answers to that. And that's exactly what this administration is focused on finding. And before you jump to conclusions based on reports that the White House has not even confirmed, I would encourage everyone in this room to go into the 4 o'clock announcement with some critical thinking skills and with some open ears to actually listen to what the president and his team of outsiders have to say about this. And there will be a number of things that will be announced and discussed. And I think, I know as a mother myself, I speak, I believe, for many mothers across the country who really want answers to what is happening to our nation's children. So again, I won't get ahead of the president, but I think everyone in this room needs to tone down the judgment before you even hear what people are going to say.
Yes. Critical thinking skills. She's asking a lot, but that's what you're supposed to do.
Right. You're supposed to say, hey, there is this body of research that suggests this. Also, I mean, just like anything, you should always be seeking truth and seeking answers to these questions. I mean, as far as the rise in autism, I do personally subscribe to the belief that the so-called rise in autism is mostly linked to a rapidly changing definition of what autism even is and screening for it. I mean, because when autism was first, quote-unquote, studied or identified, it was a little more than 100 years ago, and it was on the spectrum of schizophrenia. And it wasn't until the middle of the last century that they started to think, well, maybe it's actually the opposite of schizophrenia. Instead of an overactive imagination, no imagination. Then in the 1980s, they start talking about the spectrum. And so, I mean, it's still hard. And there are some researchers today who are saying autism should be reclassified back to something on the spectrum of schizophrenia. It's not a majority, but there are people who are saying that. So I think a changing definition and increased screening can cause that, but or is the most likely explanation to this. But that being said, I mean, especially with pregnant women, they review a lot of over-the-counter drugs all the time. I mean, ibuprofen is a big one that like, don't take that, especially in the last 3 months of a pregnancy, because there's a chance it could interrupt the development of internal organs. It could increase the risk of miscarriage. That's always happening.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it is, you look at a lot of different things that have happened over the years. Things that you thought were okay for you turned out to be not good for you at all. I mean, food dyes. Okay, 10 years ago, was that even a topic of conversation? If it was, I wasn't around it. And then you find out, yeah, some of these food dyes are really not good for you at all, and it can cause A, B, or C. You're like, okay, I want to keep an open mind to it. What are you finding? But when you have companies that have, millions, billions of dollars that can do their own, quote, studies to tell you that actually smoking is good for you.
Right.
It can, it's a stress reliever and calm you down a little bit.
Weight loss tactic, too.
I mean, that wasn't all that long ago when you're looking at history, so you're always, okay, what are they actually finding with this, and try to keep an open mind about it. But it does seem like, as far as news media goes, the mind has been made up.
Oh, always.
I guess we should not be surprised. We have not talked about Van Jones yet today. We have time to we could do this now. The way this was rolled out, and I think this was later on Friday, correct?
With him talking about Charlie Kirk?
Yes.
I think so. It was either that or I saw it on Saturday, I believe.
Okay. I knew it was at least by Friday, right? And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, he goes on with Anderson Cooper, and this is how the conversation goes.
A Ukrainian woman was fatally stabbed last month in North Carolina. The suspect is a black man, and Charlie Kirk and Van got into a public sparring match online. Kirk claimed the murder happened because she was white. Van denounced that as completely unfounded. Kirk then sent out what Van calls a fire hose of tweets challenging his argument, which Van says sparked death threats against him.
All right, little context. When you knew, the man said, I got that white woman, there's reason to believe that he stabbed her because she was white because of what he said. Okay. Roll it.
In the midst of all of this, Kirk reached out to Van in a direct message on X. Hey, Van, I mean it. I'd love to have you on my show to have a respectful conversation about crime and race. I would be a gentleman, as I know you would be as well. We can disagree about the issues agreeably. Now, that message was sent on September 9th. Van says he did not see it until the very next day after Kirk was murdered. Van Jones just wrote a piece about this for CNN.com and is here tonight. I mean, this is extraordinary. So this was received the day before he was killed.
All right, just for the sake of time, give you what Van Jones then said about it. And I'll admit it now, in my own cynical way, I have a question of the timing of him bringing it up, okay? Bear with me. Get to that. And the 5 stories we're watching today, straight ahead.
Surprise! Your table saw broke. Also, the warranty expired weeks ago, so you need to pay for a new one out of pocket.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Oh, and the replacement part you ordered doesn't fit, so it's completely useless. What a waste.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-859-3220. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 to 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-859-3220. That's 800-859-3220 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. 800-859-3220.
The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins out resting at home. And now, the 5 stories we're watching today.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, number 5. The Trump administration is defending border czar Tom Homan after reports are that the FBI caught him in a sting investigation last year where he took a bag of $50,000 cash at a Cava Digital Kitchen. Just at a chain restaurant, really? In exchange for a promise to set them up with some sort of government contracts. He said he would, according to this report, he said, well, I'm going to put the $50,000 in a trust until I leave the administration. And then I'm going to lobby for you. So that doesn't really strike me as bribery, even if it did happen. It sort of sounds like, hey, I mean, if you got a bag of $50,000 cash, that's like, wow, that's an interesting way to do business. But I also don't know if I believe it.
I'm waiting on that one.
Yeah.
Sounds a little suspect to me.
Well, it sounds too, like, if you're on the left, you got to admit this feels a little bit too good to be true, right? Like, public enemy number 1, according to you, took a bag of cash at a Cava. Like, that makes no sense, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
going to need to see some receipts on that.
Yeah, me too.
Number 4, Ryan Routh, who's representing himself as he faces charges of trying to kill President Trump last year, rested his defense at his trial in Florida this morning, closing arguments scheduled for tomorrow. Number 3, President Trump is expected to approve a proposed deal this week that would ensure TikTok in the United States is majority owned by American investors, and they would keep user data in a U.S.-based cloud. So nothing going back to Beijing. I still
don't trust it?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I know.
I don't trust the Chinese government.
Nope.
Number 2, a massive memorial for Charlie Kirk went off yesterday with his widow, Erica, saying she forgives her husband's killer. And a lot of people in the media demonstrating that they don't really understand what Christians mean by that when they talk about forgiveness.
No, they don't get it.
They think, oh, well, then it's bygones be bygones. Well, see,
no,
that's not what that means.
No.
But number 1, meanwhile, in Ashland County, Ohio, the local Democrat Party was kicked out of the county fair because they were handing out buttons about Trump, which read things like, is he dead yet? And one day we will wake up to his obituary.
And they're saying Trump doesn't want to turn down the temperature.
Right, exactly.
Right. Okay, I brought up before. Van Jones, I think it was later on Friday, talking about this note that he got from Charlie Kirk the day before Charlie was murdered. And I just have a question when he's done saying what he said on CNN.
Look, I mean, we were beefing. I don't know. We were going at it online, on air. And then after he died, after he was murdered, my team called and said, Van, he was trying to reach you, man. What? And what was he doing? dialogue. Let's be gentlemen together. He says, let's disagree agreeably. So I'm sitting on this, and I'm watching the whole country talk about civil war, censorship, justifying murder, about this guy? This guy is reaching out to his mortal enemy, saying we need to be gentlemen, sit down together, and disagree agreeably. And the next day he's killed. And I've sat on it long enough, and I just said, you know what? We're going to Memorial Weekend for this man. We disagreed. Everybody knows we were not friends, okay, at all. But you praise the good when it's time to memorialize somebody. And what he did, and I didn't even know it, was good. He was not for censorship. He was not for civil war. He was not for violence. He was for dialogue, open debate and dialogue, even with me. Even with me.
Okay. And I'm glad he did it. But my question is, why did he wait a week when people on that network were tearing Charlie Kirk down and his character when he could have spoke up then?
I think he came out with it now because he had a column to write.
I wondered if it was because all the staffers knew, and at some point that stuff gets out. Yeah. So you got to get out in front of it. This is the Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins show. I don't know. It would have meant more, at least to me, if it would have been as other people there are tearing down the character of Charlie Kirk, if he would have stepped in and said, hey, I got to tell you, this happened the day before. It just would have meant more.
I like the self-aggrandizing. I was his mortal enemy. What?
Oh, come on. No, you were running him down because he said race played a part when that Ukrainian refugee got stabbed because the dude said, I got that white woman. And Van Jones said it was disgusting that he was bringing race into it when everyone pretty much knows that pays attention. Van Jones has been a big race baiter on cable news. All right, a couple of updates straight ahead right here. All right. The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins is out, home resting. Climbing the walls maybe just a little bit.
Probably.
A couple of clips we haven't had a chance to get to yet. I thought Don Jr. Struck a good tone yesterday.
Yeah.
Because, you know, being so close to Charlie Kirk and then, well, the assassination attempt on his dad, he's pretty raw. You can totally understand it. But if you missed part of what he said yesterday, here it is.
But Charlie embodied something at the very core of our movement. When people disagree with us, we don't silence them. We don't destroy them, and we certainly don't sink to violence. We stand tall, and we win with our ideas.
Yeah. I think that's why we're seeing so much on the left, because in a lot of ways, the whole movement is winning.
Yes.
And there's desperation.
Well,
with the Democratic Party,
yeah, and that's
in particular.
It's one of the reasons why, if you haven't seen outright celebration, you've sort of seen some either members of Congress or people in the media who are sort of saying, well, he did say hateful and offensive things, and so, I mean, sort of suggesting, again, he had it coming, which is actually at odds with a lot of what he talked about. I mean, he could get raw for sure. I mean, he would mix it up. But as far as the caricature that they're putting out there about Charlie Kirk, that guy didn't exist.
No, and if you're having a conversation with someone that talks about some of the hateful things he said, you can ask, exactly what are you referring to?
Yeah.
And it's usually one of the ones that's taken completely out of context. Yeah. Well, the one that was mentioned earlier, that he didn't think black women had the brain power to do jobs, particular jobs. What he actually said was 3 weeks ago. If we would have said that Joy Reid, Michelle Obama, and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called racists. But now they're coming out and saying it for us. They're coming in saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Mm-hmm. And he said, yeah, we know. You don't have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slut to go be taken somewhat seriously. He's talking about those four.
Yes.
Okay, in particular. Not that they don't have the power. He is debating. They just talked about affirmative action. Mm-hmm. You could still say that was really uncalled for, the way he said that about those four. Okay. I think that's what you're referring to when you're saying he could get raw.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. But to carry that out, then to say something along the lines of, well, he was racist because he didn't think black women had the brain power to do these jobs. Yeah. That's just not true.
No, it's not true.
So you had an update, too, of somebody that said something?
Well, I saw this. So I'll start here. There was there's a podcaster and pastor named Aaron O'Kelly. I'm not familiar with him, just for the record, but I thought it was interesting what he said about the Charlie Kirk Memorial. And he wrote, "Today was the first time I have seen Trump eclipsed by the movement that surrounds him. He wasn't the focus, nor did he give the most memorable speech among those given. MAGA is much bigger than Trump, and it will endure after him." And I think that is true.
I do, too.
And now Peachy Keenan, you're a fan of her writing.
Oh, yeah, the book is great.
Yeah. She wrote, "This is why Obama looks so bitter and angry whenever he emerges from his mansion. He can't believe he didn't leave a lasting mark. No movement, no followers, no legacy of any kind. Just the lingering stench of race wars, Bidenomics, and crushing Obamacare bills." And you think about that, where we were in 2008 and 2009.
Yep.
And how so many people were saying, myself included, probably you too, I don't want to speak for you, but thinking, all right, well, this is a major turning point in America, first black president.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And you kind of thought, we'll see how it goes. I know there were a lot of people who were very much opposed to Obama, and I will say, tip of the cap, you were right.
Well, I've had to say that to some buddies of mine. I don't know how many times. You were right.
Yeah.
I believed in some of that nonsense that he was spewing, and yeah, he was full of crap.
But anyway, it's like, okay, this dude's movement is going to define politics for a generation.
Yes.
That was the thinking at the time, and it hasn't, and because it failed largely. Obama failed as a president, and the Gen Xers who voted for him don't like him anymore. They went, completely in the opposite direction, especially in 2024. The millennials that liked him, that bought into his line of crap, have not seen anything really improve with his towering achievements. They don't like him anymore.
No.
Gen Z, left or right, doesn't like Obama. If you're liberal, the liberal Gen Zers are like, who are you, old man?
Right.
You're just sort of moralizing and preening, and they don't like him at all, and there is no one around who's able to pick up the mantle from whatever it was Barack Obama was trying to build, because one, they iced out a lot of people that would have been promising, but he's a very petty guy, and he didn't want someone to overshadow him, and that's a problem if you're trying to actually build a movement. And then again, in the end, you can only do the salesman pitch for so long. At some point, you got to show results, and the results that he got were bad.
Yeah, dude, the other part of that, too, is when he got elected, he was running on several different things. And part of that, honestly, was some sort of unity. And I think people thought, all right, a lot of what he says makes sense. I may not agree with all the policies, but this is a chance for the country to really get past, the dark history of slavery, and, you could sort of like move on from there. It's not like you were ever going to forget it, but it would be this sort of, as you called it, a turning point where this country elected black man as president. And then so many of the stances he had as he was running 180'd by the time he was running again in 2012. And people felt duped. And some then didn't vote for him. A lot didn't vote for him the second time.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. So many of those, especially across, middle America, working class, the whites that would have voted for Obama that then were voting for Trump in 2016. And the media is calling him racist.
Yeah.
That's rich. Mm-hmm. And people just didn't buy into it anymore. And you look, were things better under Trump on a number of different measures? Yeah, they were. The same way when, Scott would always say he felt like some people that he had talked to were voting for Biden because they just wanted everything to chill out.
Yeah.
Listen, look at what you got after that, for those independents, whatever. Yeah. And then this time around with Trump, you just knew they're going to go right back to it. And if anything, the rhetoric is hotter when it comes to, Nazis, fascist, all of that. I mean, it doesn't mean anything to most people. But if you're mentally not all there, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
And there are some people that just take it like, yeah, he's a fascist. He wants to be a dictator. And they won't debate you. That's the thing.
No. Oh,
and with Charlie Kirk, he was just really good at debating. Mm-hmm. And that's why you would see different ideas just get exposed. My point to a friend yesterday, we were talking about it, and, she was making the point, this is going to be bigger than I think even Charlie Kirk could have imagined, over the next 5 years. I'm like, yeah, that's really possible. Because you think about the hours and hours of him on campuses that people haven't seen yet. It's like if a musical artist dies in their prime, they've probably got a batch of songs that were recorded, never released, but they're never the best.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? With Charlie Kirk, they recorded everything. Mm-hmm. And I heard his producer the other day talking about there's so much that people have just never seen before. When people actually go and watch Charlie Kirk at different campuses, all of a sudden, if they had this idea, this guy was, racist, xenophobic, misogynist, whatever, they don't believe it after watching. And I think that is going to endure for quite a while. It'll be very, very interesting to see. Okay, a couple other things we haven't had a chance to get to yet. Oh, yeah, there was Rubio. Rubio was speaking. There were so many of these were powerful yesterday.
Yeah.
We've just never seen anything like it before.
No, when you have almost there are some people kind of asking, okay, real talk, who's the designated survivor right now? Because it looks like the entire cabinet is there.
Exactly. Yeah, here's Rubio.
But Charlie Kirk was bold. He actively sought out to engage peacefully, respectfully, those who he disagreed with. And he did this on campuses. He did this on podcasts. He did this on radio shows. He did this on television shows. Time and again, he sought to engage those he disagreed with because he understood that we were not created to isolate ourselves from one another. Charlie Kirk did that more than anyone alive in America today is doing.
Yeah.
I think that's true.
That's why who is actually going to go out, on the campuses and have those types of debates? I know there's been some names that are thrown out there. And I think it's one of those things you got to look at is no one's going to be able to replace Charlie Kirk.
No way.
He was just one of a kind. But if people are pretty good debaters, you can have a few that go out and do it. I mean, I know there's one tonight. They're in Minnesota tonight.
Yeah, I think there's a group, people like Michael Knowles, Megyn Kelly are going to be touring around together as a group. I think that's great.
Now, the one thing I had not heard yet, maybe you have, are they going to have those sorts of prove me wrong segments?
That I'm not
with
sure.
College students?
I'm not sure.
That's the part I wonder about because that's not easy to do.
No.
And I don't know how you replace that. But we'll see. It's right now, as we speak, it is way bigger than we had imagined it would be, and that is a great thing. Okay, got to get to a couple of other news updates. And another Nimrod in the news you don't want to miss straight ahead.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torkas, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for their protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research. Not all supplements are created equal. I trust Active Liver because it's backed by science, meets strict quality standards, and delivers true daily liver support.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-859-3220. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-859-3220 or biglou.com.
All right. The Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show. Jamie Markley, David Van Camp, Scott Robbins out, home resting, but still here in voice.
Football season is back on Prize Picks. Every day we make choices, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So kick off the season right by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Just use the code MVCR on the Prize Picks app. With millions of users and billions of dollars awarded in winnings, Prize Picks is the best place to put your takes to the test. Plus, the app is really simple to use. You just pick 2 or more players across any sport, pick more or less on their projections, and if you're right, you could win big. With simple stats and user-friendly policies, Prize Picks is the most fan-friendly app to make your picks. All transactions on the app are fast, safe, and secure. Don't miss any of the action this season on Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code MVCR. $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. That's code MVCR on Prize Picks. $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 in lineups just for playing. Guaranteed. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
All right. News update, David Van Camp.
Thought this was pretty funny. Harry Enton, he's the polling guru on CNN, was going through some of the issues because Democrats are banking on the idea that Trump is an unpopular president and they're going to just kind of waltz into a victory in next year's midterms. And, well, he was, once again, pouring cold water on that.
Let me tell you, this guarantees you nothing, because at this particular point, the Democrats are the New Orleans Saints of political parties. What are we talking about? Trust the Dems or GOP more on the economy? Who leads on the economy? Republicans by 7. Immigration, Republicans by 13. How about crime, a big issue for Donald Trump and the Republicans? Look at that, lead by 22 points. What are you doing, Democrats? My goodness gracious. So whatever Democrats are doing, it ain't working, Kate. It ain't working. Republicans have the lead on all 3 issues.
What?
Yeah. You look at it, and Trump says, hey, I want to do something to protect American jobs, and there may be some short-term pain, but we think it's worth it in the end. Democrats say, we're against that. Immigration. Yes. Hey, we want to get criminal illegal aliens out of our communities. Mm-hmm. Democrats say that's fascism. And then crime, where there's a
and then they support the people that are reprehensible.
Yes. And then crime, again, 22% lead for Republicans, according to the poll that he was referencing.
Yep.
Because Trump says, hey, I want to try to save a bunch of black kids in the inner city from getting shot. They said, we're against it.
Yes, stop it. Because you're racist, because you want to save the black kids. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, again, man.
Well.
And after everything that's happened over the last couple of weeks, and we'll see this in polling, sometimes they're asking people just an overall good feeling. It's not with the left, the way everything that's been handled over the last couple of weeks. And I don't think it helps when you have all of these people that were celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk on their social media, of sane people looking at that saying, you know what, I don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time for me to really look around and see what the policies are here on this other side. All right, we got to get to Nimrods.
When the going gets tough.
Damn it, this is too hard.
The dumb get dumber.
All right, Ian.
It's Nimrods in the News on the Martley, Van Camp, and Robbins Show.
I love the poorly educated.
All right. Nimrods in the News, we go to Akron, Ohio, where a public schools employee there, Stephen Keenan, is accused of selling 11 of the district's lawnmowers without the board's approval on Facebook Marketplace.
Well, they weren't using it.
He said, I was selling them so we could buy new lawnmowers for the district. Well, you have to have approval for that.
Right.
You just can't say, hey, I got an idea. I'm going to sell these. I'm going to spearhead this one. School board, under a recommendation from the superintendent, said it's considering firing Keenan because he violated the staff's code of ethics. Well, yeah.
Considering.
You got to consider that one, and that's Nimrods in the News.